All right, grab a coffee and settle in, because we're diving into something big. Donald J. Trump's latest bombshell post on Truth Social, where he's claiming a breakthrough in the Russia-Ukraine war. Picture this: a 2-hour phone call with Vladimir Putin, a flurry of notifications to world leaders, and a bold promise that peace talks are about to kick off. It's the kind of news that makes you stop scrolling and think, wait, is this for real? Let's unpack it like we're chatting over a backyard barbecue with a mix of excitement, skepticism, and a dash of humor. Because, let's be honest, this is Trump we're talking about. So, Trump drops this post on May 19th, 2025, claiming he just hung up with Putin after a marathon 2-hour call. He's buzzing with optimism, saying it went very well and that Russia and Ukraine are ready to start negotiating a ceasefire. And not just a pause, but an end to the war. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear 2-hour call, I'm picturing Trump pacing around Mar-a-Lago, phone in one hand, Diet Coke in the other while Putin's on the other end, probably stroking a cat like a Bond villain. Okay, maybe not, but you get the vibe. This is high-stakes stuff. Trump's post is classic him. Big promises, superlatives galore, and a knack for making it sound like he's single-handedly saving the world. He says Russia and Ukraine will immediately start negotiations. And the details? Well, those are for the two parties to hash out because, as he puts it, they know details of a negotiation that nobody else would be aware of. It's like he's saying, trust me, I've set the table. Now let them cook. But here's where my inner skeptic kicks in. Can it really be that simple? This war's been a brutal, grinding mess since 2022, with thousands dead and entire cities reduced to rubble. Can a single phone call really flip the script? Trump's not just name-dropping Putin and Zelenskyy here. He's looping in a whole roster of global heavyweights. He says he's already briefed Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelenskyy, plus European bigwigs like Ursula von der Leyen, Emmanuel Macron, Giorgia Meloni, Friedrich Merz, and Alexander Stubb. Oh, and the Pope's in the mix too, offering the Vatican as a neutral spot for talks. It's like Trump's assembling the Avengers of diplomacy, with Pope Leo XIV as the wise, robe-wearing Nick Fury. But let's zoom out. Why does this matter? The Russia-Ukraine war isn't just a regional conflict. It's a geopolitical earthquake. It spiked global energy prices, disrupted food supplies, Ukraine's a breadbasket for wheat, and pushed NATO and Russia into a tense staring contest. I remember chatting with my buddy Mike last year, who runs a small bakery. He was griping about flour prices going through the roof because of supply chain chaos from the war. That's the ripple effect. Regular folks like Mike feel it, not just soldiers on the front lines. Trump's post hints at a bigger vision: trade. He's dangling the carrot of large-scale trade with Russia, saying it could create massive amounts of jobs and wealth with unlimited potential. For Ukraine, he sees trade as a way to rebuild. It's a tantalizing idea: turn swords into plowshares, or in this case, tanks into trade deals. But here's the rub. Russia's demands, like keeping Crimea and barring Ukraine from NATO, are non-starters for Kyiv, and Ukraine's not exactly thrilled about ceding territory either. So, while Trump's hyping up this rosy future, I'm wondering if he's glossing over the thorny details. Look, I want to believe Trump's call was a game changer. Who wouldn't want peace? I've got a cousin in the military, and every time I hear about escalating conflicts, I worry about him getting deployed. But I've been around long enough to know that geopolitics isn't a reality TV show where you wrap things up in a neat 60-minute episode. Trump's track record on bold promises, like ending the war in 24 hours during his campaign, makes me raise an eyebrow. He's walked back that timeline before, admitting it might take months, not days. Still, there's something intriguing about his approach. Trump's not your typical diplomat. He's more like your uncle who walks into a family feud and says, "All right, everybody chill, let's make a deal." His unpredictability might just shake things up. A 2025 analysis from the Center for Strategic and International Studies suggested that Trump's deal-making instincts could give Ukraine leverage if paired with coercive diplomacy, Think carrots, trade deals, and sticks, sanctions. But the same analysis warned that getting Putin to agree to anything short of Ukraine's capitulation is like convincing a bear to share its honey. And let's not forget the Vatican angle, the Pope offering to host talks. That's a wild card. I mean, imagine Zelenskyy and Putin sitting across from each other in some gilded Vatican hall, with the Pope gently nudging them to play nice. It's almost comical, like a holy timeout. But it could work. Neutral ground, moral weight, and a chance to de-escalate. I just hope they don't start arguing over who gets the better chair. To ground this, let's look at what's been happening. Trump's been pushing for a ceasefire since taking office in January 2025. He's floated a 30-day pause before, with mixed results. In March, he and Putin agreed to halt strikes on energy infrastructure, but Russia kept bombing civilian areas, and both sides accused each other of breaking the deal. Ukraine's been open to a ceasefire but insists on security guarantees and no territorial concessions. Russia, meanwhile, wants Ukraine to stay out of NATO and recognize its annexations. Trump's frustration has been palpable. In April, he slammed Zelenskyy for rejecting Russia's control of Crimea, calling it harmful to peace talks. He's also threatened sanctions on Russia for dragging its feet, even hinting at 50% tariffs on countries buying Russian oil. Yet, here we are in May, and Trump's tone is back to upbeat, like he's just cracked the code. Posts on X reflect the polarized reactions. Some call him a peacemaker, others say he's naive or worse, cozying up to Putin. So, where does this leave us? If Trump's post is accurate, negotiations could start soon, maybe in the Vatican or Turkey, another proposed spot. But the devil's in the details. Will Russia budge on Crimea? Will Ukraine accept a frozen conflict? And can Trump keep the Europeans on board given their wariness of his America First vibe? For you and me, this isn't just news. It's a reminder of how interconnected our world is. The war's driven up gas prices, messed with food supplies, and kept global tensions sky high. It's also a lesson in hope and realism. I'm all for dreaming of peace, but I've learned from past letdowns, like overhyped New Year's resolutions, that big promises need follow-through. Here's what we can take away. Stay informed, but question everything. Follow the news, but don't swallow every headline. Check primary sources like Trump's post or Zelensky's statements on X. Ask, what's the other side saying? It's like double-checking a used car before buying it. Think globally, act locally. The war's effects hit home. Higher grocery bills, pricier gas. Support local businesses struggling with these costs, like my buddy Mike's Bakery. A few bucks spent locally can make a difference. Advocate for peace. Write to your reps, join community discussions, or share informed posts online. Peace starts with pressure from regular folks, not just presidents. Manage expectations. Hope for the best, but brace for bumps. If negotiations stall, don't lose heart. Change takes time. It's like training for a marathon, not a sprint. Trump's post is a whirlwind of optimism, ambition, and classic showmanship. He's painting a picture of peace, trade, and global cooperation, but the road ahead is littered with obstacles. Russia's hardline demands, Ukraine's resolve, and Europe's skepticism. It's like trying to herd cats while riding a unicycle and juggling flaming torches. I'm rooting for a ceasefire, but I'm keeping my eyes wide open. In the end, this saga reminds me of my grandma's old saying, "Talk is cheap, but actions pay the bills." Trump's call with Putin might be a step toward peace, or it might be another loud chapter in a long, messy story. Either way, it's a chance for us to stay engaged, think critically, and push for a world where wars don't keep stealing lives and livelihoods. So, what do you think? Can Trump pull this off, or is it just another tweet in the wind? Let's keep the conversation going.